We have the crossing signal all decorated. Looks more like for Christmas than Halloween, but we have the lights up. Still have to get a little string to go on the arm a little bit better, but I'll work on that in the future. This is what it looks like right now. I believe that's around 1,500 Christmas lights. Alright, I just noticed that we had a signal malfunction out here, and just by looking at it firsthand, I noticed that the gates weren't going up at the same time, and that's usually a good indication of a dying battery, so I'm going to go and check that real quick. I've disconnected the bell so I don't alert anybody that thinks that there's an active train coming, because we have a lot of people out here right now. Dropping the gates, I'm going to make sure that the gates can pick back up safely when the up command is given, because they weren't doing that before. But the lights are at full brightness, though they do come from the lighting transformer, so they're off of a separate circuit. Yeah, this close S60 is making a grinding noise, which is a good telltale sign that the amperage isn't enough to drive it up smoothly. So I'm gonna have a battery problem that I need to fix out here. Alright, I made my temporary fix. I had to jumper another battery. Couldn't disconnect the original battery bank, so I tied in another to both ends. So I'm going to disconnect the bell real quick. Those pull less than an amp of load together, so there shouldn't change the outcome as far as amperage goes. These will safely drive back up. If you listen carefully, there's less of a grinding sound coming from this close S60. So the battery bank I just installed still has to charge up, but even right now it was able to pick up the gates no problem. So this should do it for the upcoming train run, which happens to be right now. There's never a dull moment out here. Now I've discovered yet another problem. Power indicator light isn't even operating on the Bungalow, and I know it was operating just before I tied in the batteries, the new battery bank. So chances are I may have shifted something around in there where it caused a wire to come out or disconnect. I can't imagine that thing going out at the same time as the new battery bank went in. That the odds are just too great. So I'm gonna see what the actual problem is, and hopefully I can get it fixed here pretty quickly. My suspicion was right. A wire came loose on the battery bank. I'm glad I'm getting rid of this Bungalow here very soon, because this whole thing is giving me nothing but problems. Even though that light is very minor, it's still a problem I have to go back and fix. So at least I got it done, and hopefully I will have no other problems tonight with the grade crossing. Literally nothing is working for me today. This push button is not operating this signal. And I was wondering why it was not being used for about half the day, and it's because it didn't even work. So I'm gonna go in this control cabinet and see what's going on with it. I have never had this many problems happen at once in one day, but it happens. The culprit to this problem was that this receiver, which has yet to be eliminated, it was never really used for this crossing setup, somehow activated or deactivated, and that's basically the override for the push button switch. And that's why it was never used, because it never really served a good purpose that would have been used often enough to really need it. But that was the cause of this issue, and fortunately this has been yet another easy fix.